Here we have a sequence, and we see that from one term to the next, we seem to be doubling, or in other words, multiplying by 2. So to get our recursive equation, we have f of n, which represents the nth term. Any term that I want to find, I would take the term 1 before it, which is represented with f of n minus 1, and I would multiply it by 2. And with every recursive equation, we give it a starting value. So we say f of 1, or in other words, the first term is, well, here it's 2. So there's our recursive equation, the equation itself and then the starting value. To get our explicit equation, we're going to create a table of values here where we say I've got n and f of n. So the term number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then over here, the actual term value, so 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. And then we'll take these numbers, we'll actually write them using the recursive equation, which is the previous term times 2. So instead of writing this as 4, we take the previous term, 2, and then times 2. And then the 8, I take the previous term, 2 times 2, and then I multiply it by 2. 16 is the previous term, 2 times 2 times 2, and then times 2. And then we see, hey, I can write this in a better way. I can be more efficient here. Repeated multiplication is an exponent. This here is 2 raised to the 4. Okay, here I have 3 of them, so that's 2 raised to the 3. And here I've got 2 of them, that's 2 raised to the 2. And finally, the first one, I could write that as 2 raised to the 1, just so I can see that same pattern. Now, here I can see the pattern. So the nth term, whatever it is, I can say that I always have a 2, and then it's raised to some number, and that number I see is actually the same as n. So this is just 2 raised to the n. So my explicit equation is f of n equals 2 to the n. We like to graph the sequence, and we'll go ahead and I'm going to label my horizontal here. Every 2 squares will be 1, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's as far as I'm going to go. And then up here, double. Each square will be 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. So the first term was 2. The second term was 4. The third term was 8. And the fourth term was 16. So there is our plot of the different terms of the sequence.